Oh, John McThree is way worse than the new Rambo. That's sad to say. I just realized what I just said.
Oh, nice, another one.
The new
Another one.
Rambo, there's not a lot structurally wrong with it. It's just really kind of lame. It's so paint by numbers. You watch it for the first 10 minutes and you can guess how this whole film's going to go. It's like Rambo's having a nice life where he's retired. He has a farm under which there is a series of tunnels for no reason. He's just got tunnels.
He was very
And like
bored.
as he was going, like walking through them, like I got my tunnels. I was like, is this gonna be like a set piece to kill people in? Because like, why the hell do you have tunnels? And
Turtles.
he has this like young adult girl he's looking after, and he's like, I love you, and she's like, I love you too, Dad. Well, like he's not her dad, but he's her carer in a way. And he's like, you make life worth living. She's like, and then they hang out. And they like ride horses together. He's like, when you go to university, I'm gonna miss riding horses with you. She's like, yeah, I'm missing too. He's like,
Got a hive cannon. Ooh.
And then she's like, one random day, like, I want to meet my real dad. And he's like, what? She's like, oh, why did my real dad leave me? And he's like, he's a piece of shit, terrible person, hates you. He at one point says, some men have black hearts, and like they repeat it randomly in the film, like as a background commentary. It's like, some men have black hearts.
And everybody goes like,
And so he's like, don't do it. And then she's like, okay, I won't. And then does it. And then she just pops over to Mexico. Like, I guess they're in, I don't know how the border security works, but she just drives through it to Mexico. And he's just like, okay. And then she's like, hey, best friend who lives in Mexico, who's like this seemingly really untrustworthy person.
how convenient, by the way.
Where's my dad? And she's like, oh, he's over here. And they just drive to this apartment building. And she knocks on the door and she's like, hey, dad. And he's like, hey.
Hey!
Why'd you leave us? And he's like, I hate you, and I don't like your mum either. And then when she died, and I had to look after you, I was like, fuck that, and I left. It's like really horrible dialogue. And she's like, okay, and leaves.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the thing. You're like, what's gonna happen then? Like, I thought, because I was like, oh, the dad will be some evil person who'll put her into some kind of kidnapped situation. But no, the friend is like, look, you're sad. Let's go to a bar and have some drinks. And she's like, okay. And then they do, and then she gets her drink spiked, and she's kidnapped. And Rambo's like, no, this can't be. And he like drives to Mexico, and finds this like a set of Mexicans who are all leading this big cartel thing. And he's like, give it back, she's mine. And he's like surrounded by like 30 guys with guns. And I thought they were going to be doing some kind of Taken thing where he was going to do something that we don't see coming, like he throws down something that, like does a flashbang and everyone's like, wow, or he had some kind of plan. But no, he just gets beaten the fuck up and goes unconscious. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
And just before he like gets knocked out, the guy is like, this girl, I didn't even care about her, but now that I know that you care about her, I'm gonna make her life horrible. He's like, let her go. And so I was just sitting there like, okay, so he'll recuperate and just revenge everybody. That's probably going to be the movie. But the only thing they did catch me off guard with is that he recuperates. He decides to assault this place. Do you know what weapon he decides to go with for that?
Bow and arrow and a machete.
A hammer. I was like, why did he need more than that? Surely. And he just bursts into this like, this sex ring.
This is double funny because the hammer has been like a thing in this stream because of the swamp area with the hammer guys. Hammer time.
He like bursts into the room and fucks people up with the hammer. It's actually like, I enjoyed that bit. He just fucking slams into their faces. Everything's just falling apart, blood's everywhere. And he finally gets to his daughter, because he just finds her. But this is a few days after, and she's just like all kinds of fucked up. She's like bleeding. She's got scars. She's got loads of like injection. Like, what do you call them? Like the scars where they you can see like the heroin, whatever street lines is it or something. I can't remember what they call them.
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter. She's got loads of that, and he like drags her out, tries to drive her home. And this was the part that I was like, oh wow, she dies on the way back, and he can't save her. And I was like, oh shit, because you figure that they're gonna do the typical hero thing where it's like, oh, she gets saved, fine. Then he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill all of them. And so he like tricks out his house and his tunnels to have billions of Home Alone style traps that they obviously do more damage than Home Alone traps. And then he like goes to Mexico. The way it works is there's two main bad guys in Mexico who are doing this sex trafficking, and then a whole bunch of cronies. He like just drives over there, finds out where one of the bad guys lives, goes into his house, just fucking kills all the people that were guarding it. There's this like weird moment where he walks into the guy's bedroom and he sees that he's currently in the shower, and you can see this shot where you can see the bed, and then the door to the bathroom is slightly open, the light's coming through, and you can hear the shower noise. And then it shows him, and he like makes like a sort of like, oh yeah face, and I was like, what?
Because he did all the trap thingies. So.
Well, I was because I guess he sees it as like, I can get the jump on it, but I just saw it as like, why are you excited that he's in the shower?
Oh.
So we don't see him kill one of the two bosses. It's off screen, and I don't know why. But
Rambo 2019 out of 10.
And he kills that guy by chopping like his head off, but he doesn't go after the other guy. He goes straight home, and it's like, oh, okay. And then the other guy finds his brother. I think it's his brother. They're the two evil leaders, and he's like, oh my god, his head's chopped off. That's bad. I'm gonna go after the Rambo, because pretty sure he's the one who did it. I can't remember if he has a. Oh yeah, he finds out because he leaves a photo of the girl behind. So he's like, oh, it must have been Rambo. So they all go to his house. There's like fucking like 100 of them. And Rambo just blows them all up, burns them, shotguns their faces off. It's actually probably the part of the movie that most people would say is the reason they watched it.
Yeah.
It's really gory. There's this one shot where a guy is just walking around in his tunnels, and something like he sets a trap off, and it just like slices, let's say 60% of his skull is just chopped away, and it just shows it. He's just like, it's just like, oof.
That sounds awesome. I actually want to see that.
He ain't saying no more.
He's more like.
And yeah, it all ends with it ends with a literal fatality. He pins the final boss guy to a wall with 4 arrows, and then walks up to him, stabs him in the chest, like breaks open his chest and pulls his heart out and shows him to it. Shows it to him.
Great.
And he's like, this is what it felt like for me. I was like, all right, you got him.
See, I want to see the last quarter of the movie.
Yeah, it's fun enough, and the hammer part. It's just the storyline itself was so like, it's just taken. He's pissed because his stuff was taken. He just beat a bunch of people up. It's just taken but R-rated.
Yeah.